Welcome back, everyone. Marvel just started Loki Season 2, released a first look with a bunch of cool Easter eggs and connections to what just happened in Doctor Strange 2 with the incursions, Time Runs Out, the Secret Wars teaser, which they're combining with the new Kang Multiverse War, which is obviously Loki Season 2, so we'll break it all down.
And then from that, as Kang begins to rear his head and do his deeds, in so many ways, he has no choice but to be in opposition or to be different from He Who Remains.
I can't wait to see how Loki and Sylvie are going to mess up the multiverse this time. It'll be spectacular. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. Of course, I'll be doing full episode videos just like I did for Season 1. I'm also announcing the winners for my special bespoke post video during this, so look out for that. But the first look of the scenes from Loki Season 2 just came from the cinematographer who released a picture on his Instagram of our main Loki variant in a scene mirroring the early part of Loki Season 1. I actually had to snag it from another website who grabbed it just as he deleted his post apparently, because when I went to his Instagram, all his posts had been deleted, so hopefully the Marvel snipers didn't get to him. But we still gotta look at that scene, and as you can see, it's Loki dressed in the standard TVA prison garb again, in the same collar that you saw him in at the beginning of Loki Episode 1 when they first captured him. It's meant to be a big joke and reference everything that He Who Remains Kang was talking about at the end of Season 1 when Sylvie killed him.
See you soon.
Like, haha, here we go again, history repeats itself, because literally this is a time travel series, so events often seemingly repeat themselves by design. You're jumping all over the timeline, or in special cases, they even have special time travel devices which trap people in specific time loops meant to torture them. Very effective torture device. But the reason why he's back in prison garb is because, of course, they would arrest him because they think he's a variant, they don't know anything about him, they've never seen him before. This version of Mobius and this version of Hunter B-15 from the new Kang's timeline, who's made his timeline supreme, wouldn't have known him, wouldn't know anything about the events of Season 1. With our Loki having to spend the beginning of the episode in some hilarious montage trying to convince them that everything he was shouting about He Who Remains and the truth of the TVA was actually true. It's all a lie, you're all variants, there's a person controlling all of it. The big difference between He Who Remains and this version of Kang, though, is that this version is way more comic book accurate, but also there's a statue of him, there's no Time Masters, he's not hiding behind anybody. So it's going to be that much harder for him to convince the TVA to get rid of him. He probably hasn't been lying to them the same way that He Who Remains Kang was lying to this version of the TVA. But you can imagine that funny, quick montage of moments just like the beginning of Season 1 with him going through the rigmarole of having to spout about the actual truth. Like he was shouting at the beginning of Season 1 saying, "Why don't you arrest the Avengers? They time traveled all over the place." And obviously the new timeline that he comes back to is different because now a version of Kang the Conqueror from the comics is ruling over this version. Or at least he's in the middle of winning this version of the Kang Multiverse War. But that's basically what's happening when he runs back into the TVA and learns that everything's different. They're in the middle of a war. That's why there are so many incursions, so many Nexus events happening all at once, and everything seems like utter chaos. If you didn't see it too, you also hear Casey in the background, who in this timeline is now a hunter and seems like a certified badass, like he's part of a squad going to run to stop an incursion this time. So I believe at the beginning of the season, only our version of Loki, Sylvie, and potentially the Renslayer who also escaped at the end of last season will remember what happened during the original timeline. And based on the release schedule, it sounds like it will take place after the events of Ant-Man 3 Quantumania, because now that's coming out in February, and this probably isn't going to come out till next summer. It is possible that the version of Kang that we see on Loki Season 2 is different from the version that we see in Ant-Man 3 Quantumania, but because of the way time travel works, you can actually kill Kang during Ant-Man 3, and then later you can still see him during Loki Season 2, with it making sense. The big connection between Kang and Ant-Man is that all the Kang variants and the TVA consequently use quantum energy to power their time travel portal technology, like this is quantum energy. The same way that the Avengers did in Endgame using all that Pym tech and Pym's research into the quantum realm. So if it wasn't clear, there's one quantum realm connecting the entire multiverse. So of course, any variant of Kang would be spending time in the quantum realm or using quantum energy in some way. We also learned in Doctor Strange 2 that Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four and the Illuminati's universe used quantum energy to make similar types of portals, just not quite as advanced as Kang's tech. Reed Richards is also a distant relative of Kang the Conqueror, so there might be a connection to Kang in the new Fantastic Four movie too. The cool thing with Kang is also that Kevin Feige and Jonathan Majors have revealed that we'll see many different versions of Kang in future movies and Disney Plus series, so Hydra style, kill one and a billion Kangs rise up in his place. And also because Marvel is saying that the incursions, Time Runs Out, and the Kang Multiverse War are basically all kind of the same thing, it seems like Kang or one of the Kangs is going to be the central figure in the Secret Wars Battleworld style movie eventually. whatever that Avengers movie winds up being, Avengers 5 or Avengers 6. In the comics, that was God Emperor Doom and involved a big war that they fought against the Beyonders. It sounds like in the MCU version of events, it'll be the Kang Multiverse War with a version of Kang winning and creating Battleworld where they all punch it out and figure out how to try and restore the multiverse. But the beauty of them using a bunch of different Kang variants in different types of projects is that they can kill all of them off in hilarious or really epic WTF ways and still have the actor come back and play other, even worse versions. Tom Hiddleston said that the entire main cast is returning. Some people heard him say that the entire cast was returning and thought that that meant that all the Loki variants were coming back too. I think that some of them will be back, but not all the Loki variants. Like classic Loki, for example, he was awesome, but he died this epic death. I don't think they want to trample on that, so I'm not expecting him to come back. But like Alligator Loki, Supreme Loki, and Kid Loki were really awesome. Hopefully they'll come back. And obviously we'll probably see a bunch of brand new Loki variants show up too that we haven't seen before. Maybe Frog Thor will also come back too. That would be really cool. In the finale, Sylvie took He Who Remains' time travel wrist device and took off. She still got that with her, but eventually she and the main Loki will find each other again and find a way to stop this new Kang who's made his own timeline the Supreme One, while also somehow making the problem of all the incursions and time runs out Secret Wars even worse. That's the beauty of the characters, like they do save the day, but they wind up pouring gasoline on the flame and things get even worse somehow. It makes for great teasers for future movies. The worse things get, the more entertaining they get. The big difference between Season 1 and Season 2, though, is that Season 1 was all about them discovering the existence of He Who Remains Kang and learning the truth of the TVA, that he'd been using variants over time, wiping their minds along the way. They start Season 2 already knowing that, and to boot, this version of Kang isn't even hiding, like he's very honest about who he is and how he's controlling this version of the timeline. Gugu and Bottom Raw said that her version of Renslayer That Escape would be going way darker during Season 2, but they might have some variants of her, because if we're in a new timeline, then a new version of Renslayer would probably be running the TVA, but it could either be the old Renslayer just pretending to be a new Renslayer, or it could legitimately be a new variant. And because this version of Kang the Conqueror ruling over this version of the timeline, the TVA, seems much more present, we might see more Easter eggs for their relationship in the comics too, because Renslayer was basically the love interest for Kang the Conqueror. They kind of alluded to that during Season 1, like she was getting secret messages from He Who Remains, but it didn't seem like they had a full-blown relationship. She only knew that there was a mysterious figure telling her what to do, giving her instructions. But remember the message at the end of Season 1, He Who Remains saying, "You think that I'm bad, wait till you meet the others." Even if Loki and Sylvie stop this new version of Kang, there are so many other ones out there that are way more evil, threatening to take over. So Season 2 probably going to end with a similar type of WTF cliffhanger where they solve one problem, but somehow wind up making things way worse. And just to explain how incursions are similar to the Kang Multiverse War, basically incursions are when different universes collide with each other or overlap, destroying one or both of them or part of them. When that happens, it's like dominoes. There's a cascade effect. More and more collide with each other. It happens faster and faster until you're left with no more universes. That's literally why the storyline is called Time Runs Out in the comics. And during Doctor Strange 2, they were saying that incursions can happen for multiple reasons. Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four blames Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch for causing one to happen because they weakened the barrier between dimensions, destabilizing the multiverse. The Kang Multiverse War is basically different variants of Kang causing incursions on purpose with the intent that they destroy everyone else's universe but their own. It's like Kang's going around pouring gasoline on a match, burning down the entire multiverse. Just in terms of surprise cameos from big actors, there were a lot of big surprises during Season 1. I would expect similar treatment, some special cameos during Season 2 as well. They also said episodes of What If Season 2 are going to air later this year in 2022, and that a lot of that plot pulled from what happened during Marvel Phase 4, including the Loki series, so we might see some connection between Loki Season 2 and What If Season 2. But if you have any questions about Loki Season 2 or any Secret Wars stuff, post them in the comments and I'll do more videos when we get more footage and Easter eggs. Like I said, Season 2 probably going to come out around this time next year. They'll have 6 episodes just like Season 1. My Obi-Wan Kenobi Episode 5 video will post next after they release it, and my Miss Marvel Episode 2 video after that. Links for all my Loki videos down in the description below too. Congratulations, Servo Driven, Xavier Ramirez, and Ragin at Games. You guys are the winners of those special bespoke post boxes. Please email me on the About page of my channel or on my website, emergencyawesome.com, so I can get your contact info. Everyone click here for my brand new Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse trailer and first look video, and click here for my brand new Thor Love and Thunder trailer video. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.